Seville, a gem of a city. Andalusia's most fascinating metropolis. In the centre of the old town is the Real Alcazar, originally home to numerous Moorish monarchs and later the domicile of Spanish kings. This complex is said to be the oldest and most fascinating palace complex in the whole of Europe. Various epochs and royal families have made their mark here, an impressive architectural masterpiece. A Christian chapel is situated close to a Moorish building. This splendid palace was built during the time of the Almohades in the 12th century and was later occupied by Christian monarchs, further construction having taken place in the 16th century. Its courtyards, halls and gardens witnessed many important historical events and became the setting for both legend and literary works. This was once the residence of King Al-Mutamid, a poet, and also the much-feared King Al-Mansur, Alfonso the Wise Man, and the legendary King Pedro of Castile. Christopher Columbus was also welcomed here when he returned from his second voyage to America, after having established a trading route with the New World. This was the flamboyant playground of royal wealth. The unique mixture of numerous cultures and epochs augmented the atmosphere of exquisite luxury. Most notably, it was King Carl V who ruled a huge realm from Seville over which the sun never set. Tiled steps flanked by flowerpots lead down from the terraces into well-laid-out gardens between various buildings. Innumerable water basins with fascinating fountains and marble sculptures create the impression of a fairy tale oriental landscape. Surrounded and divided by walls, the gardens are a successful combination of Moorish gardens with elements of Renaissance architecture. Seville is both a city of history and part of pure Andalusia. With its labyrinth of white alleys, Santa Cruz is the city's old Jewish district and is located close to both the Real Alcazar and the Catedral. Grated windows, flowerpots on the walls, and old wooden gates are typical of this area of the city that exemplifies the original Andalusian way of life. It's a little like being in familiar surroundings in which friendly neighbours offer warm hospitality. Casa de Pilatos was once the fascinating residence of the Duke of Medinaceli, the name of which was inspired by Christ's journey to the cross. The high twin-level main courtyard is encircled by well-preserved arcades that are adorned with classical busts and colourful azulejos. The spectacular array of flowers in this small, well-arranged garden shows a keen love of nature. The region's temperate climate is ideal for plant life. The large garden of this palace is also adorned with ancient statues that originated in Italy. One of the city's most beautiful palaces is still in private ownership and can only be visited with the attendance of the Duke, a jewel of feudal times. Seville is situated on the Rio Guadalquivir, on whose banks the Torre del Oro formed part of a wall that led from Alcazar to the harbour. For the Romans and later the Moors, the river was an important resource. Thus the settlement is conveniently located next to the harbour area. The river still holds a lot of fascination, and it's extremely popular with sightseers. It's a very relaxing way to tour the city. This river subsequently became a symbol in the discovery of America. It was from here that ships set sail for the new continent. And they also returned here, heavily laden with gold and other treasures that were taken to the nearby palace. Because of frequent high water levels in the middle of the 20th century, it became necessary to control and change the course of the river. It's still possible to admire a rebuilt ship on the site of the 1992 World Exhibition. A number of bridges cross the river, both old and new, including the Chapina Bridge, completed in 1991. The journey passes the Triana, Seville's second face. Once a settlement of gypsies, and even today a district of gitanos and flamenco. The Guadalquivir, the Big River as the Moors called it, has always played a significant role, the main lifeline of a lively city. Plaza De Toros and the seasonal hustle and bustle of its bullfights dominates the El Arenal, the city's former harbour district. Designed in the 18th century by Vicente San Martin, the bullfight arena was fully restored in the middle of the 19th century. Spacious, pleasing to the eye and very comfortable. It's the perfect setting for the art of bullfighting. The season begins on Easter Sunday. With its 14,000 seats, Seville's Real Maestranza bullfight arena dates back to the 18th century and is the largest in Andalusia. It's also one of the oldest in Spain. Every toreador wants to fight here at least once in his life and to experience its special atmosphere. The adjoining museum features a comprehensive history of bullfighting, as well as a toreador's cape painted by Picasso. For the Andalusian, the bullfight is a sacred ritual, and the museum pays due reverence to the skills of the toreador. The old town is dominated by Spain's largest cathedral. Its inhabitants called it a work planned by lunatics and built by titans. The Giralda and the Patio de los Naranjos are the only remains of Seville's Almohad Mosque. The rest of the temple was destroyed by the Christians. Construction began in 1401. It became the largest Gothic cathedral in the world, a fact hotly disputed by the inhabitants of Palma de Mallorca. After St. Peter's in Rome and St. Paul's in London, it is the third largest Christian building in the world. A remarkable achievement. As Seville developed into the most important trading centre of its time, the cathedral was built as a symbol of Christianity. "130 metres long, 76 metres wide and 40 metres high, the dimensions of a truly gigantic sacred Gothic structure." Golden and marble altars dominate the interior. The altar of the Capilla Mayor is adorned with 2.5 tons of gold leaf. To admire all the splendour of the cathedral takes more than a single visit. It took more than 100 years to construct this momentous building. Abundant religious treasures are housed in the sacristy, a splendid example of Renaissance design. The view up into the dome provides a good perspective of the cathedral's huge dimensions. A miracle of architecture. In a dark niche is the ostentatious tomb of Christopher Columbus. The large courtyard known as the Orange Yard is the only courtyard of a former mosque in which ritual bathing once took place. From the 97-metre-high bell tower, there's a wonderful view of the city. Seville's symbol, the Giralda, was built during Moorish times as a minaret for the main mosque. Later, the upper tower was added with its bells and bronze statue. Parque de Maria Luisa is the city's most popular park. Horse-drawn carriages constantly travel up and down its broad avenues. Originally, this area was part of the Palacio de San Telmo, until Princess Maria Luisa of Orleans donated it to the city in 1893. This lush green park is a combination of numerous plant life. Familiar local plants grow alongside those from Africa and America. A journey by horse-drawn carriage is not only a tourist attraction, but is popular with one and all. The park is still well favoured by Seville's inhabitants, a place of tranquility and relaxation amid a pulsating metropolis. Generously laid out wells are a reminder of the Iberian-American World Exhibition that took place here in 1929. This great event was planned for 1914, but its opening was delayed because of the onset of the First World War. But all the effort was worth it. It's a truly remarkable park. Within the park is the somewhat unreal-looking Plaza de Espana, a fine semicircular building whose facade is flanked by stunning towers. The great architecture of 1921 exudes extravagance. The Spanish Pavilion was located here. In the middle of this huge square is a fountain, and at the base of the semicircular buildings are 52 pictures that consist entirely of azulejos. Each of these tile illustrations features a scene of Spanish provincial history. Exquisite work that has managed to withstand the ravages of time. The tall, two-level main building is flanked on both sides by semicircular buildings with spacious arcades supported by double pillars. The square has a diameter of 200 meters and is an authentic example of neo-mudéjar design. Several Venetian-style arched bridges span a canal along which visitors can enjoy the sights from a rowing boat. The Hospital de la Caridad comprises a church and an old people's home. It was founded and financed by a benevolent sinner of the 17th century. Don Miguel de Manara was believed to be the model for a famous character of world literature, the stage play and opera, Don Juan. This shady courtyard with its surrounding arcades contains several Dutch tile pictures that feature biblical scenes. Beyond the Baroque facade of the church, there are many amazing works of art, from Murillo to Roldan. The northern area of the city contains most of the remains of the old city wall. Here is the lesser-known district of La Macarena, one of Seville's most charming areas, the true flavour of Seville. Some of the watchtowers built by the Almoravides still exist. They give the impression of protecting the nearby houses. Those were hostile times, and it was essential that cities were well fortified against possible attack. This district derived its name from the revered Virgen de la Esperanza, the Holy Virgin, and is known as La Macarena. This place of worship originates from the times of religious wars and the Spanish Inquisition, a dark time that often touched this place. Above the main altar of the Basilica de la Macarena is an image of the Virgin Mary. Each year during Easter week, she is adorned with the jewels of the Duchess of Alba, when, with great ceremony, she is carried out of the cathedral in a colourful procession. Seville is a city in which boundless wealth and stark contrast unite. It is said that those who have not seen Seville have not witnessed a miracle. Memories of Columbus, bullfights and Don Juan are just part of the fascination. With its rich cultural inheritance bequeathed by the Moors and the Christians, this is a truly incredible city, with a flamboyant way of life and fiery Latin temperament. Seville is a beauty to behold.